Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ghouls Night In, the spooky chat show with your best ghoul friends. I'm Penny Snark,
And I'm Midge Munster.
and we are officially in the second holiday season, Midge, now that we're past the Halloween season.
Yes, it is officially Saint Nick's reign.
Yes. He has taken over, taken the reins, and it's time for festive things, but you can be festive but also be spooky at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. I think we are both living proof of that.
Yes, very true. I say we can be both festive and spooky in many ways, but one of the ways that I think is beloved by a lot of folks like us who are kind of seasonal enthusiasts for both the fall and winter is the film Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, I love Tim Burton. I do.
Yeah, you got get a little bit of that Tim Burton. So what is your like, are you a big Nightmare Before Christmas fan? Do you just like it a little bit? Like, what's kind of your barometer on this?
So here's the thing. I got in trouble on Instagram earlier this year for giving my thoughts about this. I mean I do like it. Let me be very clear about that. You and I believe are of the same opinion that it is a Christmas film, not a Halloween film. So people get very like bent out of shape with me about the fact that I say like I don't really watch it at Halloween time. But I do love it for Christmas. I would say it's not even in my top 5 favorite Burtons, actually.
Ooh, savage.
Yeah, which is what I got in trouble for. But I mean, I do like it. I think I like the side characters a lot more than like the Jack and Sally story. But I mean, I respect it for what it is. I love the animation, and the style of it is incredible, and I love the meeting of Halloween and Christmas in it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that we're probably not so different. Like, I definitely feel like it's something that like I enjoy the vibe and like the music of more than I'm like I love sitting down and watching this movie, which
Mm-hmm.
there are some reasons for that in my fun facts that I think make sense. But no, I am also fully committed. This is a Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
The climactic action and main thrust of the plot is centered around Christmas. Therefore, it is a Christmas movie
Oh, we
with
gonna get a
Halloween
literary
aesthetic.
essay.
Right. I literally I saw like a fact that was like, oh, director Henry Selick says it's a Halloween movie. And I was like, well, only one of the two of us, I believe, is an English major, and therefore I believe that I will analyze this and I will determine that it is in fact a Christmas movie.
I agree with you 110%. And yeah, I mean, literally the first, 2.5 minutes of the film take place at Halloween.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously, it's got a Halloween aesthetic. You can watch it whenever you want. Watch it when it's not Halloween or Christmas. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. But the movie is about Christmas.
that's that's what I'm saying. Yep. I did want to ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Because you said that you're like a fan, but not like a fan. Same. As a fellow spooky bitch, do people in your life just gift you Nightmare Before Christmas items constantly? Because this is a phenomenon I have experienced as like a subtle goth, where like
Oh.
people associate that with like the kind of spooky subculture, people who aren't like deeply vested. And so I just get the weirdest Nightmare Before Christmas shit from people all the time. And I don't, again, I don't dislike it, but I'm just like, this is not the only spooky movie.
Right. I have not experienced that. Like,
Ugh.
I feel like people send me like links of like Nightmare Before Christmas things a lot and are like, hey, you're spooky, you like Christmas. But not, it has not graduated to like actual merch and things like
Oh
that, which.
my. I had to have a conversation with my family about it. I was like, this is not, of all the spooky things, this isn't it.
See, I will say my family would know better because one of the other fun facts, I don't remember if I've told this story on the podcast before, but I'm sure no one will be surprised that when I was a kid, there was a trailer before Nightmare Before Christmas on a VHS tape
Yes,
that I was
you've
too
talked about
scared
this.
to watch. So we no one in my family is like, Penny loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think we talked about this in the Halloween superlatives episode.
Oh yeah.
That I think I know the one. It's the one where he like comes through the bag to see Santa, and he's like, "Surprised, aren't you?"
Yeah,
And he
there's
looks
that.
so scary.
And then the very like sting at the end of the trailer is the kid turning around and pulling a shrunken head out of the box.
Yes.
And I did not appreciate that as a child. So I didn't actually see Nightmare Before Christmas probably until high school or
Oh
maybe
wow.
later. So it definitely like I
And
didn't
then you don't have that
imprint. Yeah.
nostalgia factor.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep, I do really love and enjoy the movie, I will say. And for anyone who is a fan, if you haven't watched the Movies That Made Us episode about Nightmare Before Christmas, it's
Mm.
really cool. And so it has, interviews with a lot of the cast, but also a lot of the crew and like producers and things, which was really interesting because it actually turns out that it was a huge slog to get this movie even made.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take you back to a little bit of history, which something that I really enjoyed was so I read an article of like fun facts from Mental Floss was where I got a lot of these notes, but
Mm-hmm.
they talk about how Tim Burton has said that in Burbank where he grew up. There's not a lot of seasonal changes, so it's really holiday decorations that help you see how the year is moving on.
Sure.
And in the middle of fall and winter, Halloween and Christmas both end up showing up in stores together, and apparently this kind of inspired him with the initial idea of like Halloween kind of intruding on Christmas time.
Nice. Makes
And I feel
sense, because I
that's
think
that's
we all feel
something.
that way.
Yes, I was gonna say we can all relate to that. Seeing when you're out shopping for your Halloween and you turn the aisle and it's all red and green and you're like, what? How is this
Rem-
happening?
Reminds me of that TikTok that our friend Mike at All Hallows Geek made, where he's like shopping for Halloween, but it's all Christmas, and he gets behind him and he's like, "But Halloween is stuck at the port. But Halloween is stuck at the port. But
Mm-hmm.
Halloween." That's how I felt all season. I was like, "Why is it?" It was even faster this year, I think, than normal. It was like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
before Halloween, Christmas was out.
Yeah, Christmas is all over the place. It does love to spread. And one of the other things, so Tim Burton had originally kind of been conceiving of this. So he wrote a poem, as most of us know, who are fans. He wrote kind of like a take on "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" that included Jack Skellington in it. And he apparently kind of was picturing that Nightmare Before Christmas would be like a Rankin Bass holiday special kind of vibe. Like it's something that like you play on TV annually. And I feel like thinking about it from that perspective definitely like makes a lot more sense because I think that one of the reasons that people like it so much is it is kind of like a fable. Like it's very
Yeah.
it's not a movie that you're like, wow, I love the incredible plot and pacing of this.
Yeah. It's got big Charlie Brown energy. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're like, "Oh, that was nice," but you're not like invested.
Right. And that was one of the things where they're talking about how the songs for the movie were written first and before there was really a script, which makes a lot of sense because like a lot of the songs are bangers and they're kind of, they filled in scenes around them, but you can really tell
Sure.
that the songs and the music are kind of like the show-stopping element of the film in my opinion.
And I mean, like, let's get one thing straight right now. I may not be the biggest fan of this film, but Danny Elfman is a hero amongst men.
Oh, yes.
I love Danny Elfman. I love everything he's ever done. I love him as Jack. Like, I love that whole situation. A plus 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 plus.
Yes. Do you have a favorite song? I feel like This Is Halloween always, is a major vibe. I end up getting Kidnap the Sandy Claus stuck in my head like year long. It's always
Oh,
just, you know,
that I hate that song. That song makes me want to scream. No, I have a very weird favorite. And it's Jack's Lament.
Oh, yeah.
That I find myself at least once a month when I'm like having a depressive episode doing that. Well, what the heck? I went and did my best. Like that's running in my head 24/7. I love
Excellent.
that, and I really love What's This. Um,
Yes.
my friends and I in middle school like did a whole music video where we reenacted What's This.
Aw, that is adorable. So you talk about like middle school. I don't remember when this actually came out, but do you remember the Nightmare Before Christmas covers album that had like
Yes, with
Panic at the Disco and
oh
stuff
yeah,
on it? I definitely remember jamming out to those.
yeah. What it? No, that's after Alice. There was the Alice in Wonderland one, and then what was it called? It was like called like something Outside Nightmare or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had that on my iPod Shuffle. You bet.
Ooh, yes. I had it on some mix CDs.
Hell yeah.
And I will say we have, of course, mentioned Tim Burton a lot, but Tim Burton did not direct this film and was actually
Mm-mm.
not super involved in the actual production of it. So
This is my other anger with this movie.
yep. So Henry Selick is the director, and he went on to make Coraline, which I actually love very, very much.
I love.
So good.
Which is
But
also Neil Gaiman, for those who are going to tell us it's Tim Burton. It's
no.
not.
Yes.
Don't get
Neil.
it twisted.
Nope.
I love Coraline.
Tim Burton has nothing to do with Coraline.
Nothing.
But yeah, so yeah, Tim was busy off directing Batman Returns, which obviously was a much higher budget and higher prominence kind of thing. So he obviously, came up with the story and a lot of the concepts, but it was really, Henry Selick and the team of animators and creators who were working on this directly.
Yes.
Gotta give your flowers where they belong.
Where they're due. Yes, I agree. There's a gal too that was really heavily invested in Nightmare as well. I can't remember her name, but
yes. I'm trying to remember her name. It was a producer, I think, who she really. I think it's maybe Denise DeNovi.
Yeah,
I'm looking up. Yep.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and she was the one who, was always going back to Disney and being like, no, like, we need the budget. We need to get this done. It's going to be great.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like, I mean, that to me, in my experience with other, like, Burton fans, this is the movie that people associate with him, and he had so...
I know,
he was so hands-off. I will say, Batman is in my top 5 favorite Burton films, so...
Yes. Yeah, it was just really interesting. I remember I learned a lot while I was watching the movies that made us about this, just about the production. Disney was like so unsure about this project. And as probably serious fans know, it was not released under Walt Disney Studios. It was released under Touchstone Pictures because they thought it was too off-brand because it's weird and dark.
And now they redecorate Haunted Mansion every year, so joke's on you, Disney.
Right. Jack Skellington won out in the end. Apparently, even though they weren't releasing it under the main banner, Disney continued to have a lot of notes and a lot of concerns, and they really wanted Jack Skellington to have eyeballs.
Oh God, ew.
Right? But friendly eyes. So
no, I'm uninterested in that journey.
Right. I know. I don't like it. It is, as it said on the Mental Floss article, it's a common guideline in animation and puppet creation that you need to have eyes for the audience to connect to a character. And they were like, no, Jack Skellington doesn't need to have eyes, which it's so hard to imagine the idea of him with eyes. And also just he's a skull. So
right.
how would that work?
that theory was deeply disproven because, like, were you even a mentally ill little goth girl if you didn't have a crush on Jack Skellington in middle school?
Right.
Like, I
Oh,
felt very
Jack.
connected to him. Jack is one of
Yes.
those characters where I was like, oh, I'm pansexual.
Also skeletons.
Why am I attracted to Skellington? Because of his personality, I guess.
Oh, he does have a great, he's very charming, although I will say that
He's also a narcissist,
yeah, but
but
I was
it's
going to say
fine.
he could listen to Sally a little bit more and know about it. Okay, so that was something else I was going to bring up was I love the people who have used Nightmare Before Christmas as like an explanation of cultural appropriation.
Now what?
Have you seen this? Like
No.
people are like, okay, like let me break it down. Like if you don't understand the idea of cultural appropriation, like think about Nightmare Before
Oh,
Christmas.
because
Jack saw this and he thought it was really
stolen. Yep.
cool. And then he was like, instead of just, enjoying it with the people of Christmas Town or learning more about it, he was like, I've seen all I need to see. Now I can do it myself. And I bet I can do it better.
He said, "What if instead I ruined it?"
Exactly. And so you need to remember that was a bad choice on Jack's part and he learned his lesson in the end, kind of.
I understand what you mean now. At first I thought you were saying that people were saying Nightmare was cultural appropriation, and I was like,
That's
from
fair.
what culture?
I phrased that oddly.
It's like, when you're a Halloween lover and you feel like your culture's been appropriated by Tim Burton.
Yeah, from the Skellingtons, obviously. As we talked about, the Haunted Mansion does get taken over now by Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen it in action, but I would like to see it at some point.
I was wondering what your opinions about that were as a Haunted Mansion super fan.
Yeah, like I like the idea of it taken over. I know I've seen other like obviously more in-depth Disney people talk about this. I don't like that it does it at Halloween. Like,
oh, is it?
yeah, they like shut it down and put up all of that stuff like across into the Halloween season, and people are like, I just want to go on the normal Haunted Mansion at Halloween.
It's already Halloween, Janice.
It's already Halloween, and Nightmare Before Christmas, as we discussed, is a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't like that. I thought they did it just for the holidays.
They do it they shut it down partway through Halloween, from what I understand, and put it up and then do it because, they turn over immediately. So when it's actual Halloween, the ride is already Nightmare Before Christmas-ified.
Well, here at Ghouls Night In, we do not support this. If you'd like to sign our petition.
No. I did see a sketch that an Imagineer did do a concept for a full Nightmare Before Christmas ride.
Now that'd be poppin'. I support that choice.
Yeah, so that obviously didn't come to be, but I would be very into that. The like sketch that they showed was like lock, shock, and barrel, kind of like terrorizing you.
Oh, fun! I hope you get to ride in a bathtub.
Right,
that'd be fun.
But it looked fun. I would definitely go on that ride.
110 bajillion%. The best part of the film is Oogie Boogie. And I would definitely go on like an Oogie Boogie ride with like black lights and stuff. That would be super duper cool.
I know that is. I feel like I would love to go to the Oogie Boogie Bash. And
oh yeah,
just sounds so cool. I love seeing all of the cool merch for that. But did you know that there was a suggestion that Oogie Boogie was going to be revealed to be Dr. Finkelstein at the end?
I have heard this before. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that I've cut that every which way, and it doesn't make sense to me.
No,
I'm like, how are you gonna spin that exactly?
And I feel like that's just like another reason that, like, as I kind of said before, it's not a movie with like an extremely strong plot line.
No.
So characters just kind of pop up and they do something and they have a song and maybe they do something else and it doesn't ever super tie back in. So like I get the sense of like wanting to like loop it around and be like, oh, we're tying this big monster to something else that we've seen in the movie, but I mean that also doesn't make any sense. So
that's, I think well, and let's not even get into the problematic nature of both villains in the film being based on cultural stereotypes. But I I I don't think the movie needs the Jack and Sally story. I think is really my big problem with it. At the end, like when all of a sudden they're singing about being meant to be together, I'm like, how did we get here?
Yeah,
Like talking
I
about the plot, I'm like, where was the storyline leading to this ending? Because that's not the film I was watching.
I know. Okay, so this is what's gonna get this podcast canceled.
Oh
Everyone's
no.
gonna be mad at us.
R.I.P. Ghouls Night In.
I don't understand how Jack and Sally have become like a romantic, spooky
Oh yeah, no.
icon couple because they spend the entire movie not like barely knowing each other.
Yeah, not
Like
together. She's infatuated with a narcissist who gaslights her the entire film, and then at the end he's like, "Oh my god, you were right in front of me the whole time." Like, what? No.
right? And like I'm fine, like sure, it's like I'll believe that, they get together at the end and develop a strong relationship and work through, any issues there. But I'm like, but we didn't see that on screen. So like
Yeah, simply meant
why
to be my ass. Like,
why are we all living like Jack and Sally if we want to when they are barely together and she's just sad about him for the entire movie?
because that's the female experience.
Oh, snap. She spits the truth.
They said, "You want some relatable content? Spend the whole film pining over someone who doesn't even notice you or give you the time of day, and then at the end pretend that you're happy."
If only my drag queen fan wasn't all the way across the room. I'd be thwarping that for you on mic right now.
I've earned a thwarp. I'm so proud. Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I fully don't understand the the infatuation with that relationship. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's just
If
super
anything,
weird.
they're good friends, maybe. If anything.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's very odd to me. And I'm like, even if you wanted to pick from a Tim Burton movie, like there are more iconic couples.
Oh hell yeah. The hill that I will die on is that Corpse Bride is a far superior film. And I
Ooh.
will lay on that hill and let people stab me to death with their nightmare themed merch.
I haven't watched Corpse Bride in a while. I will say, like, it's 100% plotted better. Like, the story is better. I do still feel like I'm more attached to like the songs and kind of the aesthetics of Nightmare, but
Mhm.
I do think Corpse Bride is, a more coherent film.
Well, and the characters are likable. None of the
Mm-hmm.
characters in Nightmare are really likable characters. And maybe that's the point. I mean, but
Yeah, I think I kind of half said it earlier, but it really is like more like a folk tale fable kind of vibe
sure, it's
than
not
actual thing.
made.
Like no one really has like a super developed character. Like you're not like,
They're
wow,
all
these
like
people have.
archetypes.
Yeah, it's like it's an archetype. It's, kind of like someone working towards one particular goal. And I think that that's probably why people like really love it because, you can, project a lot of feelings onto that and kind of imagine a lot with it.
Sure.
But yeah, it is something that I very much enjoy as part of my like Christmas season spooky vibe, but it's certainly not like the end all be all of haunted holidays, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. No. I
I
I'm gonna lose a lot of people. All of a sudden, my Instagram following's gonna be cut in half. People are gonna be like,
wow.
"We didn't know Midge was such a
He's a
nightmare
hater.
hater."
He's a nightmare hater. I will say, so I live on my street. There is a
Good for you for
rather
living on your street.
thank you for living. I live on my street,
Good
and
job.
also on my street, there is someone
Oh
who really loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
yes,
Um, so there is a house on this street that has just like full, huge, life size, larger than life nightmare cutouts and actually takes over usually like 4 to 5 other lawns on the strip during Halloween season and fully decks them out with all of the colors, all of the different creatures. For a while, I think that they may have stopped doing this with COVID, but they used to change the decorations like throughout winter so that it was following like the storyline until
Yeah.
Christmas. So they had them up that whole time. And it's very, very cool. And so that's part of why I'm like the aesthetics and like the imagery of it is so iconic and really cool. And I
Well, the
love people.
character
Yeah.
design is beautiful. I
Yeah.
mean,
The
the
designs are so
artwork.
nice.
Yeah, the artwork is stunning, and like, yeah, the creation of the characters, like the models, are beautiful. I think I'm more in love with the fandom than the film.
Yeah.
But yes, Penny used to send me, like, text me pictures of this house when you were on walks. You would like send me a message with a picture of what the house was doing, and I looked forward to it so much. Did they, am I mistaken, didn't they like have it up still at like Easter one year?
Well, yeah, because he also had theme decorations for each of the other holiday doors.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so he has like a giant Easter bunny that we see when like Lock, Shock, and Barrel bring that to Oogie Boogie by mistake.
Uh-huh.
So like he would put up this giant Easter bunny and like the egg door kind of
Oh my
thing.
god.
And he had a 4th of July Jack wearing like a full like Uncle Sam outfit.
Incredible.
It's so cool. And it's just, a very cool kind of community project. People, volunteer to come help set it up. And he collects money during trick or treat to donate to charity. So it's all a very warm and fuzzy thing. And I do really like, the way that people are creative with, kind of the elements from the film. And it does feel
Definitely.
like very cozy and familiar to, see it all up there.
Dear person who owns the Nightmare House on Penny Street, if you are for some reason listening to this podcast, we would like to be best friends with you.
Yes. Hello.
That's the type of energy from people that I need. Like I need you to be that dedicated to something, even if it's not my favorite thing. I'm still excited that you're excited.
That is true commitment to Sparkle Motion.
Yes.
Well, those were all of my nightmare facts. I will ask you, who is your favorite character, side character, creature from the film?
I think like I said, I think I have to stick with Oogie Boogie. I really I love that character. If we're going like very, very niche side characters, I love the swamp creature woman from Halloween Town. Like I love her design. Like obviously she doesn't really have a character arc or anything in the film, but just as far as like visually a character I think is really cool. Yeah, definitely her.
Yeah, I was gonna say niche side character edition. I love the vampires.
Oh my god!
Just like the little set of vampires, they're so cute.
Yes.
They're probably my very favorites. Although I do also I appreciate the unbridled chaos of Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
And we get some just delicious Catherine O'Hara there.
Yes.
So that I'm thrilled for that for sure.
Primarily the appeal is the Catherine O'Hara of it all.
Yes. I will say, without Nightmare Before Christmas, we would never have gotten to experience the joy of that little musician saying, "Nice work, Bone Daddy."
Yes.
Which is my
Bone Daddy.
My favorite line in any film ever.
It is extremely good. Also, I haven't, even though I haven't felt it this year, I normally very much relate to but you're the Pumpkin King. Rip, not anymore. And just the immediate switch from spooky to festive is usually about where I'm at, where I'm,
oh yeah,
just swap it right over there. I'm ready.
Yeah, I think some folks on my channel this year were getting holiday whiplash with the ferocity with which I went full Christmas. I think we're both that way. I mean, I know you're a little less in the festive mood this year, but even though I'm a Halloween like ride or die, I'm definitely still a Christmas girl. Like I still love Christmas, both the spooky and non-spooky aspects.
Most certainly. And I will say it is nice to have a Christmas movie with some dedicated spooky aspects. And I think I understand why people automatically think that you might want Nightmare merch, even though it
Well,
is not
sure.
true. But it is nice to have a representation of spooky chicks at spooky Christmas.
Yes. Thank you for that, Disney / Touchstone / Burton / Selleck.
All right. Well, that was our little mini nightmare. I hope you still love us, even though
please don't cancel our
we
podcast. We're
have
just getting started.
correct Nightmare for Christmas opinions. But thank you so much for watching. Watching. Nope.
They're watching you.
They're watching me right now. Uh-oh. I think I was thinking about watching the movie.
Well,
and
we're now thanking you from this video, or this podcast is sponsored by Touchstone Pictures. Thank you for watching.
All right. Thank you for listening and joining us today. Please do let us know if you love Nightmare Before Christmas, if you also think it's pretty okay, if you think that it is a Halloween or a Christmas movie. Sound off. We got to know what you're thinking. And you can do so at Instagram at Ghouls Night In Pod.
Let me know if you're also getting assaulted with Nightmare merch. I need to know I'm not alone in this.
Please do like and review on your podcast app of choice. We definitely appreciate it. And hey, if you are feeling festive and want to spread some joy around, send the podcast to a friend who also likes spooky things. We would love to chit chat with them too.
Yeah.
And if
hello, friends.
Hello, friends. If you are looking to find me, you can find me on all of the platforms at Penny Snark.
And you can find me at Midge Munster.
And until next time,
goodbye.